Cedric Coward, Division III to a lottery pick. All right, well, look, we said we were surprised with Colin Murray-Boyles. We said we were surprised with Jeremiah Fears a bit. And how about Yegor Demon, a surprise? Cedric Coward to the Portland Trailblazers. Your draft grade is what, Adam?
Well, they're trading him to the Grizzlies.
Yes.
So I would like to know more about the trade before I assess this. I will say this. I was told going into the draft that Carter Bryant was atop the Blazers board. And so if they are moving this pick, it is presumably because they think they can move down and draft Carter Bryant. So although I'm going to reserve the right to find out the deal, the specifics of this deal, I think on process alone, that strategy from Portland would be an A. And as far as Memphis, again, you have to know what they're giving up. But GP, you know this team better than I do. How's he going to fit there?
He will fit great. I know that they liked him. They brought him in for a workout and had prioritized him. It seems obvious. They didn't think he was going to fall to 16. They needed to go up and get him. Reportedly, they have sent to Portland the 16th pick in this draft, a first-rounder in 2028, and 2 future second-rounders. Now, they have done a nice job in Memphis of assembling picks. You know, they got 4 first-rounders in the Desmond Bane deal, so they were always building up to make a move if they needed to. This is a young man who helped himself, I think, probably better than literally any other prospect throughout the pre-draft process. He played just a handful of games at Washington State and was set to transfer to Duke. 2 months ago, he was not expected to even remain in this draft, much less be picked 11th. But here we are. It's an amazing story.
All right, so Cedric Coward headed to the Memphis Grizzlies, and we're headed Matt Norlander's way, who wrote a fantastic feature about him on CBSSports.com. And look, this is a surprise. He's going 11th, now headed to Memphis.
Well, having written a feature on Cedric Coward, obviously I've been in close contact with him, his family, and his camp. And earlier on Wednesday, it was a message to me that, you know, going as early as number 11 was on the table, and they did not think there was any chance he was going to slip past number 16. Memphis was one of the preferred destinations, and interestingly enough, Portland was not, even though he played at nearby Washington State and Eastern Washington. Cedric Coward is the best story in the 2025 NBA draft, and he has walked a path and done something that's never happened in the history of the NBA. He had 2 Division III offers. Division III, not Division I. He had 2 Division III offers. He started at a terrible Division III team, Willamette, for a year. He played at Eastern Washington for 2 years. He transferred to Washington State, turning down hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in NIL money at high major schools to keep on with his coaching staff, which got the Washington State job. Then he rips up his shoulder 6 games into last season. He has not played organized basketball in more than 7 months, and yet he has turned this into a top 11 draft pick. This is incredible. It speaks to his outstanding character. Cedric Coward, guys, I've mentioned this on HQ earlier this week. I've interviewed close to, I think, 400 college basketball players in some shape or form over the past 15 plus years. Cedric Coward is one of the 5 best interviews I have ever done. It is so easy to see how a franchise would fall in love with him from a character perspective, let alone his 7'2.5" wingspan on a near 6'6" frame. Some of the efficiency numbers you dive in, although he didn't play a lot of high-end competition, they're outrageously good. He was one of the most efficient players off the bench in his first year of Division I. So he will be an amazing fit in Memphis. And I'm just telling you, he is ready to go. Having talked to him leading into this process, he's got a Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant type of mindset. Says, when I get on the court, I want to kill you. I'm trying to take your head off, period. That's all it is. That quote's in that feature at CBSSports.com. He is an incredible, amazing story, and really proof, last thing from me here, really proof that you can get to the NBA from anywhere. And his closest comp in terms of his rise is Jalen Williams, who I profiled 3 years ago, who went from Santa Clara to a maybe NBA pick to being a lottery pick at Oklahoma City. And now Coward's done it. He's gone even higher in the lottery, and he is considered a potential diamond in the rough here. And he could be the type of player that, even being picked at 11, proves to be picked too low.
Yeah, he's got Olympic ties as well, Matt. I mean, this is a fantastic story. And we always like to see these gems, Gary. And you know Memphis real well. You know the Grizzlies. It's exciting to see these stories where you go from nowhere to somewhere and being a first-round pick. But at the end of the day, it's about results. And so when you look at what type of player they're getting, there's a lot of unknown. What do you know that you can go, this is going to be a good selection here for Memphis?
Well, he just checks all of the physical boxes that you would want somebody to check, like good positional size, great body, great frame, great athleticism, and then he can make the shot as well. If you're skeptical of him, and I'm not, but if you are, I mean, we haven't really seen him play against high major competition. Right. He didn't really play much at Washington State at all. So he is going to be, the second he steps in that facility, surrounded by basketball players, unlike anything he's ever seen. But throughout the pre-draft process, the physical tools were undeniable. And like Norlander said, everybody who talks to this young man, spends time with him, walks away impressed. And I can just tell you, having lived in Memphis and being a part of that organization, they really value that stuff. Like they don't just draft Jaren Jackson Jr. because they think he's an amazing, versatile big. They really liked everything about the makeup of Jaren Jackson Jr. and Cedric Coward checks a lot of those boxes.
Well, he was about to go to Duke, and he stays and keeps his name in the draft here. I mean, that speaks volumes already as it is for him that he was going to go to Duke. Instead, he goes to the NBA because they don't just let anybody walk into Duke and play basketball there.
No, and the wing was the priority position at Duke this offseason, so they got him done really early. But then even before the Combine, I was actually told that while he made it public following the Combine that he let Duke know a week before because some of his very early, the initial NBA visits had gone so well, he knew, he said, hey, I got to stay in this draft. And let me make this point as well about Memphis. They struck gold in last year's draft with Jalen Wells, so they moved Desmond Bane out. And now with Coward and Wells, the hope is that those are your wings long-term. Coward's 23 years old.
That's right.
So he's 5 years older than a lot of these freshmen. So this is a pick that needs a somewhat immediate return because they want to compete right now. GP, you can speak to this better than I can, but you tweeted they're not trading Ja Morant, they're not trading Jaren Jackson, they're trying to win. And so Coward, if he can contribute at a low salary number associated with this pick, then it makes sense.
Yeah, one of the big misconceptions when the Grizzlies traded Desmond Bane, on a national level at least, was that this might be the first step towards moving Jaren Jackson or Ja Morant. They're not trying to rebuild, they're trying to compete in the West, and they hope this player can help them do that.